Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my COVID story today and to give my perspective and my feelings on some of the things that we've seen over the course of the past year. Well, I became Aviation Minister back in the middle of the pandemic in September last year, and this really is my dream job. I'm a lifelong aviation enthusiast, and you simply couldn't have a minister who is more passionate and more enthusiastic about this industry. And when I started, I was under no illusions about the challenge that faced everyone, and I feel the same now. In September, travel was still changing significantly, but for the better it seemed. We've been able to ease some restrictions, both domestically and internationally, and we've moved really fast to implement schemes like Test to Release, which was intended to help the aviation sector take off again. It's hugely frustrating that the new variants have meant we've had to take the public health measures that we have, albeit for understandable reasons. But since then, I've continued to meet regularly with all parts of the sector to help me quickly get up to speed with their concerns, and most importantly, to discuss what the government might be able to do to help. Obviously, I recognise the extremely challenging climate that everyone's facing across the sector, and I know the frankly devastating impact that it's having for many people, from ground handlers, airport staff, pilots and cabin crew alike. I'm acutely aware of this from the meetings I've had from colleagues in the industry, from the correspondence I see from MPs and their constituents, and from what I see around me on a daily basis. Now, if you'd have told me years ago that I would be Aviation Minister, I'd have been delighted, but I never thought I'd have to put in place restrictions on international travel, and like all of us, I want nothing more than to see planes back in the sky. I'm an aviation minister that hasn't been in a plane for over a year, and not at all in an official capacity, and it's not an achievement I ever hope to have, and it isn't a record I want to keep. But I know that the measures we've taken so far are the right thing in the long term, because it's safeguarding public health as the keystone that will enable us to restart international travel. By treating health as the main priority, then in the long term that will get us back to travelling again in a safe and sustainable manner. Now, I was delighted recently to be able to announce a grant of up to £8 million for airports and ground operations to apply for, giving financial relief to help pay for fixed costs and general maintenance, which I know has been really tricky in recent times. We need a thriving aviation sector for our economy to succeed. It's worth £22 billion to the UK's economy, but it's about more than numbers, isn't it? It's about people, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations and their families. Aviation supports a huge number of jobs and local communities. It's essential to the way communities see themselves and to the way we see ourselves as a nation, outward looking, international, keen to explore new horizons. And I know that this industry will take off again as soon as it can. But before we get there, I would like to thank everyone in the aviation sector for all that they are doing during this time. I know how hard it is, and I will continue to do everything I possibly can to help this sector navigate through this challenging period to the brighter and better days that I know are just ahead.